guys, Asher coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends, another champion guide for you guys. Today is the Big Black Bear. I'm going to take a look at Ursine Ironhide, the brother of Ursine Ice Crusher here in the game. A Skinwalker epic champion, defense base, kind of an interesting control slash support champion that I can't wait to share with you guys. In today's video, we're going to start by talking a little bit about the battle pass that was a thing a few years ago, and then we're going to get to the champion guide. We're actually going to build this champion together in today's video, all artifacts, all masteries. Let me know if you like that, if you don't like it. Love to hear from you guys in the comments below. And lastly, we're going to go ahead and give the lore on these champions, and there's quite a bit of lore behind these two bears, so that will be the end of today's video, probably the back half of the video because there's so much to read about. All right, guys, starting with the battle pass. So I thought we'd take a look down, yesteryear here. When is this from? I'm not sure if there's a date on this post. The original date is 21. So August from 2021 here, we got the Battle Pass. We had Frozen Banshee available on Battle Pass Season 1. I think we only had one season. We had Whirlum Frost King, Frozen Banshee, and both of the bears, Ursine Ice Crusher and Ursine Ironhide. So this is the Ice Crusher, and the other one is the one that we're going to show today, the Black Bear, is Ironhide. So Battle Pass was basically very similar, you can see it right here, to what we call today Forge Pass, but there was no Forge. Back in that day, there was just a campfire chilling over there. Man, it looks so lonely, the home screen back then, you know? There's no guardians, there's a little sparring pit, you know? And what does it look like today? We got the Guardian Ring, the Altar of Souls. I wonder what it'll look like in another couple years. Anyway, guys, so Battle Pass was very similar, though, in terms of the UI, the structure, to the Forge Pass, right? So you can see kind of the rewards. Obviously, back then, the rewards, you could argue, were really cool because unlike today where it's almost all coming from, or it's almost all forged material, there are some still glyphs and stuff like that. But we actually got stuff like speed gear, you can see right there, a bunch of really nice glyphs, energy, gems, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, still, the forge material, the forge artifacts are still some of the best in the game. So I'm not really complaining there, but that's what we got. That was the first version of, what now is Forge Pass today. And we're in like season 7 or 8 or something like that in the Forge Pass. So I thought that would kind of be cool to take a look back because that's how a lot of players, myself included, first got our hands on the Big Black Bear. So is this dude good? Let's start with that. Is he worth booking this champion? Where is he anyway? Here he is. Well, he's a Force Affinity, obviously Skinwalker. He looks freaking cool. I mean, look at those. He's just a cool looking. Look at the armor, the plate mail, whatever he's got going on here. I like it. I like those gauntlets on him. I like the look of my man Ursine Ironhide. Excuse me. I always go to call him his brother and his brother him. What does he do? On his A1, attacks one enemy. We have a 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of one of the target skills by 1 turn at random. Not a bad control element to his A1. On the A2, beat back. This is on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. He is here. Attack one enemy 2 times. Each hit, 100% chance when booked of decreasing the target's turn meter by 5%. So we get a 10 meter turn meter decrease if both of them land, and then decreases by 10% instead if the target's under decrease attack. So against bosses, considering he's bringing decrease attack in his kit as well, it's not a bad ability. The problem is it's single target, so it's really mitigated. It's not going to help you much on waves unless you're really getting off auto and just trying to get through and you need to reduce the cooldown the turn meter of the reviver or something like that. It's a rather niche scenario. So it's decent control, but it's really nothing to write home about. There's a lot of control abilities in the game that are quite a bit better than this, a lot of them. Rampaging Swipe, his A3 ability. It's an AoE 4-turn cooldown, decrease attack, 100%, which is really nice. A lot of epics, especially a couple years ago, were only coming in at a 75% or 50% land rate. Albeit this is on a 4-turn cooldown, we'd really like to have it lasting for 3 turns, or on a 3-turn cooldown, booked down 4, booked down to 3 instead of 5, booked down to 4. So let's look at his passive here. Ursine Brutality. Each hit has a 100% chance when booked of decreasing the target's turn meter by 7.5%. Each hit also has a 50% chance of putting one of the target's skills on cooldown if the target is under a decreased crit rate debuff. So each hit has a 7.5%, or it has a 100% chance of decreasing target's turn meter by 7.5. That's not predicated on the decreased crit rate. So now he has even more control built into his kit. This obviously works with the A1 and with the A2 as well, kind of compounds. So it's interesting. A decent amount of kind of passive turn meter control from this champion and the decrease attack on a defense-based champion. Rather easy to keep him alive. 1222 base defense isn't anything that's out of this world. Overall, let's see what the reviews say on this champion. So I've already reviewed him a little bit here back in the day when I initially pulled him. I would say these reviews are a bit too kind on this champion, right? Because the last thing I want to do here on this channel is tell you that everybody's amazing, and have you waste your resources. I will say that he's been power crept a little bit back from where he was. With all that said, though, he's definitely a champion that I relied on personally to get through Skinwalker's Faction Wars. So if you're looking for a good, tanky support champion with some control on turn meter and decrease attack on 100% AoE, he can definitely fill the bill. He's a worthwhile champion to consider using in those scenarios. Other than that, and outside of Faction Wars and just maybe a little bit of control in Doom Tower floors or in dungeons, he fits on basically any team for the most part. But I would say he's average at best in those scenarios. I'd probably try to get a little bit extra utility out of this champion and maybe even throw on, I don't know, a shield set or a bolster set or something, just to add a little bit something else to the table. I want to go ahead and pull up his multipliers. For a defense-based champion, I can already tell you he's not a damage dealer per se, but he can be a nice like third or secondary. 3 overall score is what Hell Hades gives him, and I agree with that. Damage, he gives a legendary ranking, decrease attack, godlike. Turn meter control, legendary ranking. Let's see. A 4.2 strong ranking on that A1. On the A2, a 3.2 multiplier on the 2-time hitter, right? So 3.2 on both hits, not bad. On the A3, a 3.9 defense with a strong rating. So, for that reason, maybe we're going to build him out with a little bit of crit rate, try to get, again, him to be maybe a second, maybe a third damage dealer on your team. It's nice to get some damage out of your defense-based control and support champions on your squads, right? So let's go ahead and gear this dude out. I don't have any masteries on him. Oh, I do. Oops, oops, oops. You know what? I really wouldn't change these masteries, so we won't do them together. I'm going to go offense, get a little bit extra crit rate on this champion, crit damage on this champion, go down to War Master for a little bit of extra damage on him as well. I like going on support because it does have that decrease attack. We love to extend the duration to 3 turns because it's on a 4-turn cooldown. We also have the sniper ability, Lore of Steel, which you can keep in mind, Evil Eye and the extra accuracy. Obviously, we do need accuracy on this champion. Now, why do we have Sniper on him? Not sure. We don't really need Sniper on this champion. I'd rather grab Spirit Haste, but I'm not going to redo all the masteries for that. You guys ever do that? You ever look at the masteries on a champion that you built years ago and you're like, what was I even thinking there? What was I thinking on that? Anyway, let's go ahead and gear him out, guys. I'm going to flip myself around. Let's do this. Let's do this. There we go. Facing the right way. So what we want to do, obviously, is get a lot of defense on this champion, but even on defensive-based champions, I like to also get a little bit of HP. So I'm just going to go with the first legendary ring that I see here that's HP-based with a lot of HP on it. Now that I have this ring on him, and there's an artifact enhancement event going on right now, so that's why I'm doing this. I probably wouldn't upgrade this random ring at this very moment. But anyway, we get a little bit of HP there. We're already sitting at like 37K on HP without just the ring. So I'm already feeling pretty good about the HP. Obviously, we want to add a little bit more, but it's a good start. Now, we will go crit damage just to kind of, get a little bit of versatility out of this champion, right? He's not bringing a ton to the table, decrease attack, decrease turn meter. So if we can get a little bit of damage out of him, that'd be great. And damage with some accuracy and a double defense roll, we'll go ahead and use that because nothing wrong, by the way, with going defense as well, especially if you're not trying to get damage out of this champion. You already have damage dealers on the squad. Totally cool to just build him, kind of fast. You could even build him in Relentless with a tanky Relentless build if you wanted to, or even like in a Retaliation set to get more turn meter control out of that A1 and reduce the cooldown of their skills. So there's a couple like unorthodox, maybe outside the box ways that you could potentially build this champion as well. You know what? Just for the hell of it, let's build him, and let's do that. Let's build him in an Avenging set, or Retaliation rather. Avenging would be like for the Arena, 45% chance to a counterattack on a critical hit, and Retaliation would be in PvE, 35% but on every hit. So on the banner, we're going to go probably with accuracy. I think it's pretty much the safe bet. If you want to build him with like triple perception, you know, or accuracy sets, this one has defense, has a little bit of speed. We'll take it. That's fine. No reason, excuse me, if you want to build him with triple accuracy or triple speed on your artifact sets, no reason not to go on defense or HP on the banner as well. So as I mentioned, guys, on his A1, we already have the 50% chance to increase the cooldown of one of the target skills by 1 turn at random. It's not a bad little control ability there, so maybe we'll counterattack because you're also going to have more control with the turn meter decreased by 7.5% on that A1. So I figured, you know, it's definitely not the most popular set ever in the game, but I want to do different things here on the channel and explore different builds and some unpopular artifact sets and how you can take some sort of advantage from them as well. So Retaliation, again, 35% chance to counterattack when he's hit. Let's just see what we have already built here. Crit rate, some speed. We will need some crit rate, so let's just go ahead and take it. It's already leveled up anyway, right? In terms of stat priorities, we're obviously looking for defense percentage. We're looking for accuracy. We're looking for some speed on this champion. Space speed's pretty low at 94. So crit rate, speed, defense. I'm not loving this helmet. We get speed. Let's check out the shields that we have. Wow, we have so many like crit rate pieces here. Some nuker builds. So we have some HP, some speed, crit rate, and defense. We're going to go with this shield for sure. Let's go ahead and put it to 16. Another trip HP roll. Not too bad. I don't have any HP percentage glyphs on me right now, though, so that's a bummer. All right, let's go with speed things up here. Let's go with, let's see, HP on the chest. We really want defense. We're kind of overdoing it a little bit here. You know, speed with accuracy on the boots. We want to go speed, and again, we want to make sure we get enough accuracy. We do have that banner on him, so I don't have to sweat it super bad, but... Okay, crit damage? No. No crit damage. No crit damage. Crit rate. But we want to take it off Theodore? Do we want to? HP, we don't have any defense, so we're going to have to. I'm going to go crit rate on the gauntlets here. So now, not too bad, right? We're at 100% crit rate, 149 crit damage. Now what I have to do is build some survivability, a little bit more speed on this champion. We're going to be looking A-okay. So we have that cool counterattack. Again, a little bit more control. It's not going to be a game changer, but it's kind of a cool set to get a little extra utility out of him in terms of that turn meter control. And because my accuracy is only at 267 right now, I think I will. I do have the support tree Masteries, but I think I will. I should have used Fitting Room too. I always slack on that. I think I will just go with Perception because I have so much Perception gear anyway. I'm going to look for something that's really nice. I'm going to go primary stats first. Defense percentage, substats going to be when you're going to need accuracy. Actually, if we're going to go perception, we don't necessarily need that. We have enough crit rate. Maybe go with a little bit of crit damage. Maybe go with a little bit of speed. Crit damage and speed. Let's see what we have in perception here. So, this is a nice chess piece here. Defense percentage, speed, accuracy, crit damage. Sure, let's try it on. Let's try it on. And then I want to do the same thing, substats here with the helmet. See what we can find. Obviously, we're going to be going HP. Let's come down. We got plenty of options here. Let's check out this one that nobody's using. Speed and crit damage again. You know what? We would like a little bit more defense, to be honest with you guys. Let's see. Accuracy. Let's see this one here. No defense again. Armiger, what you got? No defense on an Armiger? And we do have defense there, flat stat, not too exciting. Let's see. Speed, crit rate, crit damage. Nah. You know what? We'll just grab this one. We'll just grab nothing on here. No. Okay. This is going to do it. There we go. Equip it all. Not too bad. I'm going to upgrade this helmet as well. And this is not going to be that bad of a build, but if I do have to critique it here, we get the extra speed roll. Fantastic. If I do have to critique this build, I would say, again, that 3,100 on the defense is a little low. Ideally, we'd shoot for like 3,500, even 4,000 on the defense, but 50k HP is nice. He's built for a little bit of damage, as you guys can see. He has plenty of speed, 225, plenty of accuracy, 353. Let's go ahead and try him out here, guys. We have him booked out. Let's try him out in the Faction Wars right now. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I found Secret Room 5. It's Force Defense Champions only. So I figured I would run him with the squad that I was already using. We get Solstice Dragonbane as kind of some DPS. I want to make sure that he has some decent stats on him. We have Helier. Again, I'm not sure if any of these champions are kind of naked right now. No, he's good too. All right, so it looks like we're pretty good here. We have Ultimate Death Knight and we have Contra the Cyclone. I want to say with the exception of Helier, all of these champions were either a fusion at one point or a battle pass or something, right? So what I want you guys to pay attention to mainly is his turn meter control, right? Every time he hits somebody, you're seeing decreased turn meter, decreased turn meter, decreased turn meter. And every time somebody comes in with an AoE, he's going to have that 35% chance to counterattack. So he's kind of like, I look at him as his little battery, you know? He just keeps going, kind of like a Coronar, but not as good as Coronar with his A1. It's a small amount of turn meter depletion, that 5% on his AoE on the A1. But with his counterattacks, in Retribution, he's kind of like a very, very poor man's Coronar with no provoke, no decreased defense. It's a bad comparison going against a Void Legendary, but still, I do like that he has that element that he brings to the table. Now, the decreased attack, not going to be helping us at all against this team, against any of these champions, because we're going only against defense-based champions. But you can see that turn meter is going off 4 times there, you know? It is helping us, I guess, a little bit because it does activate the turn meter control on the A2 ability. And you can see he's getting some decent counterattacks here, and he's not putting out tremendous damage. I didn't look at the A3. Let's look at it the next turn here. His A1, again, if you want more damage out of that A1, just give him War Master instead. Actually, we have War Master, my bad. Forgot that we didn't rebuild him there. I'm actually recording a couple of these guides on the same day. So I'm getting all my masteries confused of the guides that I've recorded today. But so far, this team is really, really strong. You wouldn't know it because, well, the team's pretty strong. All the champions are really good. But this is actually a pretty difficult secret room, you know? These mobs are level 275. They've got a bunch of HP, a lot of defense, and they can take a while to take down. But I love having that stun there too, man. That's Saltus is gonna be. I bet Saltus is gonna be the damage dealer, right, in control there. I think that one of the best control champions. Oh, look at that, man. That's a lot of turn meter manipulation off that AoE attack. We saw it there, right? I gotta say, man, the Bear's not bad. He's a C+ champion. You know, he can help a lot of players out. But he's not going to jump out the page at you guys. But I can't wait to give you the lore. I have not pre-read it, so we'll see if it's any good, but it's kind of cool. I want to hear where these bears came from, you know? We're going to jump right into that in just a moment here. Going to be doing lore on every champion that there is lore for on the channel when I do these guides, just so you have like a very complete look at, you know, every champion, you know, everything you need to know about him, essentially. So Saltus puts out 807, Ursine Ironhide with 218, and keep in mind, that's with crit rate and some crit damage, so it's not crazy damage, about half of Contra the Cyclone, about half of Helier. So again, really not a damage dealer here, more of a control champion and a damage mitigation champion. All right, guys, let me go ahead and pull this up here. It's Ursine Ice Crusher and Ursine Ironhide. Wow, get a lot to read. Here we go, guys. I'll have this linked if you want to read along, but here we go. Of the savage Nor warriors, there are many tales. Their reckless bravery and disregard for death are legendary even now, when most of the clans have long assimilated into the greater Telerian kingdoms or were exiled to the arid eastern lands across the Vladimir Strait. But many still survive in the Arctic tundra that covers the shores of the Great Northern Sea, and these hardy folk have countless heroes of their own. Centuries ago, when the Norse still ruled over the vast swaths of northern land, 2 brothers were born to a remote clan. Arni and Ulf were named by their father, who hoped it would bestow the virtues of the eagle and the wolf upon the boys. Though he was not wealthy by any measure, the father was a man of war and had taught the brothers everything he knew of battle. As years of hardship and tutelage passed, Arnie and Ulf grew up to be mighty warriors in their own right. But, as it so often happens in legends, tragedy struck when it least expected. At first, a few hunters disappeared when ranging far beyond the clan's village. Then young men, women, and even children who ventured outside started vanishing as well. At least 24 people were lost in the span of a year, and the clan became desperate. Hunting parties returned with nothing, or did not return at all. Worst of all, many of the disappearances were accompanied by sightings of a strange beast and massive paw prints on the forest trails that surrounded the village. At a glance, the tracks appeared to have belonged to a bear, but the sheer size of them made the beast appear truly gigantic. The clan's venerable shaman disappeared for days, communing with the spirits through means only known to him and his apprentice. When he returned, the old man announced that a terrible curse had befallen the village. A mighty beast, corrupted by the power of evil, roamed the forest in search of human flesh. He claimed that no mortal hand could slay such a foe, yet the clan's hot-blooded young warriors disagreed. Arnie and Ulf rose to the fore of the ambitious group. Inspired by the sagas of great heroes, they would hear no more of the shaman's warnings. Their own legend was there, just waiting to be forged, and their clan would not survive if the monster were left to be unchecked. And so the youth set out in the forest arming themselves with every weapon they could find in the village. For a fortnight, the warriors hunted. Sorry for scrolling too much. For a fortnight, the warriors hunted, but their quarry had proven to be a cunning one. The monstrous bear avoided a direct confrontation with the would-be slayers. Instead, it attacked those warriors who strayed from their kin, dragged some away in the dead of night, and led the Nor on a deadly chase through the thickest forest. It seemed like the hunt was doomed, the survivors fortunate if they even got out of the forest alive, but the brothers were not daunted by adversary or the horrors that the foe inflicted upon their group. They pressed onwards, using every ounce of the hunter's skills their father had taught him to track down the beast to its lair. Eventually, they found at the very center of the forest where the trees were gnarled and twisted by dark magic. It was there the bear made its den. Cornered at last, it attacked the Nor hunters with all its fury and slew several in the first brutal moments of the battle. But the brave warriors weathered this assault and attacked the beast with spears and bow. Though many fell soon after, the dread bear too suffered. At long last, only Ulf and Arnie were left standing, bleeding from countless injuries wrought by tooth and claw, but defiant. As one, they attacked the beast, and while Ulf distracted it, Arnie drove his spear through the bear's black heart. With a final roar of fury, it collapsed on the ground, dead. It was then the two brothers finally allowed their wounds to get the better of them, and rested their backs against a mighty oak tree. They knew that with their kin dead and their lifeblood ebbing away, that they too would not survive long. Neither Arnie nor Ulf cried out amongst this fate, for the monster slain their clan was safe. For with the monster slain their clan was safe. They were about to commend their souls to the ancestors when a woman dressed in the purest white and gold appeared before them, her arrival heralded by blinding light. The Arbiter, as the stranger called herself, revealed a terrible truth. While the brothers thought they had laid down their own lives to slay the beasts, the wounds inflicted upon them were worse than mortal. The beast's curse flowed through their veins, and in barely a day's time, they would awaken as little more than bloodthirsty monsters themselves. The Arbiter claimed she could not stop the transformation, albeit it was within her power to save the brothers' minds and souls in exchange for their service. Though furious and suspicious at first, Arnie and Ulf had no choice but to listen and learn that this woman was a servant of Lumia, the goddess of light, the mother of Teleria. It was her that the brothers were to serve. for their skills and willingness to sacrifice their lives for others marked them as worthy champions. For them, the Arbiter had very special task in mind. For the Winterlands to the north were under attack by an undead legion and sorely required stalwart defenders. Bah, bah, bah. So it's Arnie and Ulf turned into Ursine Ice Crusher and Ursine Ironhide. There we go, guys. That is the guide, and that is the lore. Hope you enjoyed it and enjoyed me stumbling through it. I enjoyed the story, guys, and I enjoyed kind of the background. It adds more texture to when we actually see these champions in-game. Hey, that's kind of cool. I kind of know the backstory now. So for the two of you still tuned in at the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.